Our recent event shook the international agenda. In a strategic operation, U.S. Air Force planes attacked Iran's largest natural gas facility on the Red Sea coast. This operation took the tension between both countries to a new dimension. According to the statement from the command of the Central Forces, the Raptor jets that took off from a base in the Mediterranean approached the target previously determined in detail by the intelligence units. In a midnight operation aimed at dealing a severe blow to Iran's oil and natural gas revenues, the United States also sought to limit Iran's influence in the region and dry up its financial resources. With this operation, the jets successfully destroyed the gas plant using guided missiles. The operation was recorded by high-tech cameras, and these images were shared with the press. Following the operation, it is estimated that this U.S. maneuver has caused around $500 million in damage to the Iranian economy, given that Iran derives most of its income from oil and natural gas. It is expected that the economic effects of this operation will be felt in the long term. At the same time, the U.S. action is seen as a financial blow to several organizations over Iran. Following the operation, Iran declared that this action was unacceptable and that it would retaliate. The international community is closely monitoring the impact of these events on regional stability. Consequently, this strategic maneuver by the United States against Iran has exacerbated existing tensions between both countries. This operation is expected to have long-term consequences for regional and international politics and further complicate relations between the parties. Our next news comes from Jordan. At a time of rising tensions, the neutralization of 8 members of a terrorist organization attempting to infiltrate a strategic military base in Jordan from the Syrian border has once again highlighted the vital importance of Operation Security and Intelligence in the region. This exhaustive report analyzes in depth the details, background, and possible consequences of the incident. For years, the U.S. military base in Jordan has been at the center of the region's conflict. Iran and the militias it supports have repeatedly attacked the base in an attempt to weaken the U.S. presence in the region. The base, which recently came under direct attack by Iran, is equipped with a security shield that can detect enemy movements at an early stage thanks to high-tech radar systems. Last week, thanks to careful surveillance by intelligence services and the early warning capacity of radar systems, a group of 8 members of the terrorist organization was detected advancing from Syria towards Jordan. The group planned to attack the base with mortars and drones. However, this threat was successfully thwarted thanks to the rapid mobilization of Abrams tanks and artillery attacks within 15 kilometers of the base. This operation highlighted the importance of the ability to detect enemy movements in time and react quickly. This attempted attack is considered an example of Iran's influence in the region and the activities of the militias it supports. Iran continues to support these types of actions to consolidate its regional hegemony and challenge the U.S. military presence in the region. Iranian-backed organizations are known to be behind the attempted attack and are attempting to retaliate for the recent events. This successful intervention demonstrated that the U.S. military presence in Jordan can not only protect itself, but also ensure the security of its allies in the region. However, it also heralds a period of heightened tensions between Iran and the forces it supports and the United States. Our next report comes from Yemen. Increasing threats against U.S. ships sailing in international waters off Yemen's troubled coast have come to an end thanks to a bold intervention by the U.S. Navy.
A group of Houthi militants preparing to launch a mortar attack was successfully neutralized by U.S. drones. Since the start of the civil war in Yemen, the Houthis have increased their threats against international shipping in the Red Sea and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, especially American vessels, which have been consistently targeted by the Houthis. These threats have caused great concern on these routes, which are the heart of international trade. Based on information from intelligence units off the coast of Yemen, the U.S. Navy detected that the Houthis were planning a new attack against U.S. ships. Recognizing the seriousness of the situation, U.S. Central Command prepared a rapid response plan. Following orders from Admiral Richardson, a large number of drones took off from a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier and quickly located the Houthis armed with guided missiles. The drones silently approached the Houthis and hit the targets before the Houthis could launch an attack. This rapid and effective response eliminated a potential threat and ensured security in the region. The success of this operation off the coast of Yemen was an important step in ensuring security in the region and increasing the capacity to confront similar threats in the future. Our next report comes from Israel. The delicate balance on the Lebanese border has been shaken once again. The Israeli Defense Forces carried out a decisive operation against a Hezbollah camp inside Lebanon using drones launched from Tel Aviv. This operation was recorded as another reflection of the existing tension for a long time in the region. The Hezbollah camp in Lebanon is located near the Israeli border and is known as a safe haven for groups that have repeatedly attempted to infiltrate Israeli territory from Lebanon in the past. It was recently reported that a unit of this group attempted to infiltrate very close to the Israeli border and was targeted by the IDF. The IDF took this threat seriously and acted to ensure security in the area and prevent possible attacks. This Hezbollah camp in Lebanon has long been under IDF surveillance. The camp apparently has the capacity to plan and coordinate attacks against Israel. The IDF carefully analyzed the location and activities of the camp and decided that now was the best time for an operation. When the drones reached predetermined coordinates, they fired ballistic missiles at strategic targets in the area. These missiles carried high explosive warheads and were designed to directly destroy designated targets. The missiles hit the main structures of the camp and possible weapons depots. Immediately after the operation, the IDF assessed that the target camp had been successfully hit and had suffered significant damage. The destruction of the camp severely limited Hezbollah's operational capacity in this area. Our next report comes from Gaza. Elite IDF troops, accompanied by Merkava tanks, entered Al-Yusra, the most complex and dangerous neighborhood in Gaza. This operation will go down as not only a military success, but also a strategic turning point. Planning for the operation was started weeks in advance by senior IDF commanders. For many years, the Al-Yusra neighborhood was considered a stronghold of terrorist organizations in the region, with RPG anti-tank rockets and members of the organization lurking around every corner. It had become almost impossible to approach the neighborhood, however. The IDF developed a comprehensive strategy to overcome these obstacles. 14 Merkava tanks, along with IDF Special Forces units, took advantage of the darkness of the night to sneak up on the Al-Yusra neighborhood. Despite the complexity of the neighborhood and its high defenses, the IDF's technological superiority and detailed intelligence allowed the tanks to advance towards their objectives. IDF troops came under intense fire from the first minutes of entering the neighborhood. However, the Merkava tanks' superior armor and maneuverability neutralized the attacks. In the midst of intense fighting, IDF special units were deployed at strategic points and began to squeeze the members of the organization. At dawn, the IDF won a major victory in the Al-Yusra neighborhood. 3 senior IDF officers hiding in the neighborhood were captured alive. This is considered a major intelligence success, as the interrogation of captured commanders will provide valuable information about the organization's structure and plans. The operation received extensive local and international media coverage. Military analysts view the IDF's success, especially the effective use of Merkava tanks, as a development that could affect the balance of power in the region. However, the complexity of the situation in Gaza and the ongoing conflict raise questions about the long-term consequences of this operation.